All right, wrestling fans, back at it here with some breaking news. Breaking news in the world of the WWE again. The second video of the day. My goodness. But this one comes with some negative, ultra negative news. A sexual assault lawsuit for sex trafficking was brought up to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Of course, a former worker executive by the name of Janel Grant filed a sexual trafficking assault against Vince McMahon, also indicating that there's some graphic text brought up to the lawsuit. Also, a former UFC fighter was trying to resign by the WWE. She didn't throw no names out, but you put the two and two together, the breadcrumbs where Vince was ordering pictures, sexual acts, favors, all that stuff in the deposition. It says it there from the Wall Street Journal. By the way, all that is online. You can check it out, the Wall Street Journal. My goodness, in July of 2021, the suit says Vince instructed Ms. Grant to create a personal sexual content for the WWE superstar and that he was trying to resign. And the suit did not name the professional wrestler, but describes him both a UFC fighter and a WWE talent. You put the pictures together, you cross the I's and dot the T's on who could that be. There's plenty of wrestlers that wrestle both UFC and WWE, but not a lot. Just maybe a handful that you could think of. You make the speculation because the name was not brought out there, and all of this will be hearsay. And the suit says McMahon shared explicit photos with the star, informed Grant that likes what he sees. After the star agreed to a new contract, McMahon texts Grant in August of 2021, by the way, to say that part of the deal was effing you. That's a very, very strong accusation. Disgusting, terrible. I hope that this gets fully investigated and prosecuted, not just civil, but to the criminal extent of the law. If all this is true, um, this is a. I feel bad for Janelle Grant in this situation, all the other ladies that have not come forward. We saw that before Vince McMahon got embezzled some money, about towards it $25 million to pay, and out of the board, that's how I got caught in the cookie jar. If he didn't make that slip up with the money, God knows how much more incidents or situation might have been going on. Now we all know that with that, WWE made some positive news, making money. Of course, that big contract with Netflix, but TKO, a spokesperson from TKO Holdings, said in a statement, Mr. McMahon does not control TKO nor does he oversees the day-to-day and operations of the WWE. While this matter is predated our TKO executive team tenure at the company, we're taking Ms. Grant's horrific allegation very serious and are addressing this matter internally. So don't think that TKO is going to stand there with their arms crossed or sweep it under the rug, especially with how they're conducting business, all the new opportunities, venues, financial gains that they're having. They're not going to sit there with their hands crossed. Actions will be made. I know some folks were wondering, where does that leave his son-in-law, Triple H, head of creative? We all saw that Triple H, when the merger came aboard, was not part of the board, was not part of the executive board. Although we've seen Dwayne the Rock Johnson on the board, could be a telltale sign of what TKO Holdings and were pivoting towards. We also saw Stephanie McMahon resign from the company, of course. But remember, Nick Khan, Stephanie, Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, they all voted against bringing Vince McMahon back on the board. Remember, Vince kind of facilitated a hostile corporate takeover to get back on the board to make the sell to TKO. Eventually, there was a lot of back and forth jockeying behind the scenes, way above our pay rate, apart above our heads. There, my opinion, we wait for it to be taken in the court of law before we point fingers, because I'm not saying that Ms. Grant is not embellishing, because she does have proof. She has a lot of proof. She has proof of the text messages. I mean, if you look at my thumbnail, if it's blurred out, the text message, it's all over it by the Wall Street Journal. She also has receipts. When I mean receipts, she has gifts given by McMahon. Now, I don't know about you, I'm a hell of an electrician. We'll bust my ass, but my company does not go out of their way to go above and beyond with these type of gifts, no matter and the only thing I've gotten maybe was a pat on the back, maybe a Christmas bonus, and that's it. You're lucky you have a company vehicle. I know it's different profession. I'm just being facetious. Now, I'm going right into it where she has a number of receipts there. She received, from a BMW 2022 BMW 430xi. They could easily say it's a company vehicle. There's all the rebuttals are going to be there. $5,000 gift certificate for a spa, like two private chef catered dinner, McMahon in a condo, gold and diamond necklaces, $1,500 Bloomingdale gift cards, food assessment, antique tea ceremony from Saudi Arabia, large bouquet of flowers approximately every other week. Although it was told that in the WWE headquarters, a lot of the office personnel was getting those deliveries often to, well, could it be the different women that he was having romantic liaisons with. And also Johnny Laurinaitis is in this as well. He is not, his hands are not clean of the cookie jar. Also part of this suit, Celine glasses from Nordstrom, cashmere scarf from Nordstrom, a lot of Nordstrom gifts here. Burberry cashmere scarves, diamond and pearl necklaces, $20,000 towards a surgery. Gee, I wonder what kind of surgery it is. Maybe some breast enhancements. It sounds male chauvinistic, piggish, if you ask me there. And of course, Clubhouse access to tickets to the Belmont Stakes. Also, WrestleMania private full day transportation and premium tickets for her dispense if she wants to resell them, face value, gold, whatever. Massive boxes of a Godiva chocolate, the $2,000 Nordstrom gift card. All of that has tracking. All of that has receipts to it. You could have a paper trail easy on that for Vince McMahon. Alternative clinic, medical care, and medical cosmetic services and products. So again, all of this could be totally, you could track it down for evidence. Doesn't look good for Vincent Kennedy McMahon, Johnny Laurinaitis, as well as the UFC fighter. Although who could that be? Hopefully they don't euthanize the beast. We'll leave it at that. Um, Personally, this is terrible. We're seeing this not just in the upper management corporate level. All Elite Wrestling has their scandal as well with Chris Jericho, but that's for another day. I'm not even going to comment on that. And it's not one is better than the other. They're both terrible. There's victims involved. That's sickening if you want to compare or even say which is the lesser two. They're both terrible. There's victims. There's women that shouldn't be treated that way, or any human being, not just women, men, women, children, anyone in that terrible, terrible way, degrading way whatsoever, where you feel useless and powerless because someone who's running a corporate company or has more money or has more power, you feel belittled. For Janel Grant, I don't know. I don't think any money could wash away the pain, the torment, the embarrassment, the all the negative things in her life that she has to live with day to day. Don't know. Hopefully, she has a good support system around her where she gets counseling. She will feel free, liberated, and she could be able to have some type of a normalcy life for her and all or any of the victims. If any victims that have been in this sexual misconduct, not just with the WWE, but in anything in walk of life, that is sad. That is terrible. If I feel for those women and people that are involved there. Now, for those that knew about it, it's a tough situation. For those that might have known and couldn't say nothing, when you have someone powerful that you're bearing, the right thing is to be a whistleblower, but sometimes you're put in a position where you might have to look the other way. I'm not condoning that. I'm not condoning that whatsoever. There's circumstances in life, we don't know until we walk in those shoes how will we react either. That's crazy on that for me to even say that, but I'm going to be totally honest and transparent. You don't know until you walk in those shoes. For me, I hope this doesn't bring that negative stigma on the WWE where they're doing great business, going forward, ascending with their product, with the talent in the ring, with the sales. Hopefully, there's not a backlash where attendance wise or support for the product, because those performers that are going out there night in night out and entertaining us are doing a phenomenal job. They shouldn't be penalized, but when you think of WWE, you think of Vince McMahon. Unfortunately, I'm a big WWE guy, but when you think of Vince McMahon, you think of WWE, and if that's the tarnished record on his way out at 80 plus years old, that's bad because that's what you're gonna remember. The negative of this, and then you could say, see, this is why Sasha, Mercedes Bernardo, and Trinity Fatu walked out. Maybe Johnny Laurinaitis was up to wanted to make an advance or act funky or whatever the case, and they left. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why they left. Maybe they knew something and they just moved away. They just say, I gotta get out of this company. It's toxic at this time. But according to everyone now, from all the inside dirts, from the PWI, the Ross Sapp, the Melzers, even from former wrestlers that have left and been released, Dane morale is much better, much more creative, is much more fun. The company's much morale's up in the WWE. You see, there's a big change, a breath of fresh air. It's sad that Miss Stephanie McMahon is not part of that movement, but her husband Paul Levesque, hopefully he doesn't get removed from creative, because I think he is a smart mind. Will they bring another guy who would be just as creative? Of course. I doubt it. Remember, there's always someone better. Oh, our replacement is always a step away. We don't live forever. We're always going to have the next great mind, the next great creative mind to come up. But for now, if Paul Levesque isn't associated with this business as usual, if he is, that's gonna set back the company a little bit behind. Interesting. But they must have known about this Wall Street deposition lawsuit coming up, especially Stephanie. When she resigned last year, when she saw her father take back power, she just immediately dissociated herself. A lot of things that you see in the past, from him being removed from the very first time, returning back in that corporate takeover of the board, getting rid of board members and all that stuff. You could see now, if you look back and you look at and you rewind it, you could see why certain people were leaving. Like, why would your daughter leave? You're running this company. You were doing it. You were going forward in great aspects. You were going forward. And I can see why Paul Levesque didn't want to be on the board, because he could, it all starting to make sense. The more, and the only thing that's sad thing about this whole thing, the more it's like an onion. The more you peel it, the more it stinks. And I hate that. But hopefully justice is prevail here, for it, going forward. It'll be interesting to see where this leads, and what interesting to see what happens to that UFC fighter if that name comes out, and the ramifications of him and his brand. Again, we don't know who it is. We're being speculated. A former UFC fighter who wanted to get re-signed by the WWE. This Miss Grant was brought out there pretty much as as a dish, like a piece of meat. Hopefully, again, justice hopefully will prevail. We ask anyone that has gone through any situation, in any life, if whoever can hear this video, I posted underneath as it's scrolling in the ticker, phone numbers, hotline, get the help we need. At the end of the day, is for the victims here to get help. There's alternatives, people that are willing to help. Not everyone is a creep or negative or sleazeball in the world. There are good people that want to get you the proper help and the proper counseling. So please, if you're listening to this video and gone through a trauma, in any aspect of life, there, sexual or human trial, if you know anything, please, I understand the people that deal with this are some real dangerous criminals, but if you could find help, there is organization that's willing there to get the help there. So I hate to do this kind of emergency negative video, but it had to be said. For Vince McMahon, terrible. You tarnish your legacy, sir, for such a great revolutionary pioneer of the industry, and we're gonna remember you now as this terrible villain You did become the ultimate villain in not just in wrestling, in life. If this is all accusations true, again, this is you haven't been found guilty, but all points signed. There's a pattern here. For my, you gave the youth of my youth this. You created this wrestling industry that was phenomenal. It was great. Gave us great childhood memories. You gave us great time from myself. Again, I'm gonna tell you from my personal experience. Time with my grandfather. I'm enjoying my time with him. Then to my children, taking them to the events. You brought great memories to us, but what you did outside of it to obtain it, that was disgusting. When I'll leave that with that there. I wish it was a better video, but Vince, you disappointed. You dropped the ball, man. This is just, you know what? Hand over whatever financial, sell your stocks and just go with your money and just go away. Enjoy the rest of your remaining life because the afterlife is going to be really, really harsh if this is true. If this is true, what happened, it's going to be terrible. Enjoy whatever money you have and all that stuff there because you hurt a lot of people. Hopefully, again, this is all accusation, but you know, it's bad taste in my mouth for the WWE fan that I am, and for many years, and it's disappointing, but that's life. Hopefully, again, prayers up if you're a person of faith. Prayers up for all the victims involved in the WWE, not just the WWE, around the world. Just pray out for those folk, those men and women, children that are going through situations through that, that they get the right help. So this is the Sports Jedi Network. May the sports be with you. Remember, get over in life. Don't get pinned by life. And we'll see you next time, friends. Peace out.